Um, so I'm just getting settled in, so apologies if I sound a little bit dazed. I was working up until this moment. I literally just logged off my work computer, and here I am now, uh, doing a live stream for 2 hours. So apologies again if I sound tired or anything. That is why. Um, Anyways, so welcome back to the Friday Open Studio design session. Um, Again, if you're new around here, this is intended to be sort of an open studio session, right? It's in the name, which is where you can be working on your projects and I'll be working on mine. And, hopefully that'll foster a sense of community and also, just creativity through the power of the internet. Um, and so right now we're going to continue today's stream working on this design right here. Again, if you're new around here, this is the YX10 M1 variant. So this is an original design. That's what I meant to say. And so we're pretty much just working our way through each section of this aircraft design. Right now, we are at a stage of just designing some fairings for these two rear landing gear right here. Um, and we started that process last time, but it really took 2 hours and we didn't really get much done. But we are slowly but surely working our way there. I think we have a template here. I didn't actually get to work too much on this outside of these streams because my actual job in real life required some weekend support. So I didn't get much time to work on this off the camera. But the plan is to continue working on this, this fairing right here that we designed. We're gonna, transfer this template onto a cardstock sheet, and with that, I guess we can get started here. Once that's done, we'll make the folds and assemble the entire structure here, and we'll just have to tinker our way through this. There's no like solid, this is the right way, this is the solution. um, Again, with this process, it's kind of iterative, right? Like I find out what works, what doesn't, and we kind of just go from there. So again, I encourage you guys to work on your own projects while keeping this on in the background. I don't necessarily intend for you guys to watch through this whole thing because I feel like that would be pretty boring. But when you get to create your own designs in aircraft, that's when these things get a little bit more interesting. And again, if you have any questions, if you have any comments, please feel free to send them through the live chat so I can respond to them. So with that said, I guess we can get started here. I'm going to put this to the side for a bit. I'm going to focus really on getting this geometry copied onto this stock material here. Because once we do that, we can make some adjustments. So there are some minor geometry adjustments that we needed to make based on last time's tinkering. So we need to trim down some of this material here because the way it overlaps, right, you want it to be able to just like fit nicely together. So this is supposed to come over like this, and as you can see, when the fairing is kind of assembled like this, it's there's some material here that can be removed to make it cleaner. And so that's why we need to trim away some of this material here in the final piece. And I believe we're also going to trim off this little edge back here. Not sure though, so we'll see. Looks good. Liked your design overview video for the rapid prototype. Oh yeah, thanks Ben Rogers. Yeah, I released a new video today if you're watching this at a later date. Released today at 12 a.m. So probably 17 hours ago at this point. Um, but yeah, that's for the Rapid Prototype 004, right? It's actually been over half a year since I've made that, I believe. Uh, so yeah, yeah, my very first stream for that project was on May 1st, 2020. So it's been a solid 7 months, 8 months about. um, but I just got to releasing that video, and you might notice some different quality footage. I uploaded it in 4K, but it didn't actually show up in 4K. The max I had was 1080p, even though I let it process for a couple days. So I'm not really sure what happened there, but I guess we'll try our best next time. Try to get 4K up and working. But you might notice that the footage from that video is quite different. Oh, it's in 4K now. That's very nice. Yeah, it's just when it premiered last night. I think it was stuck at 1080p for a very long time. Um, yeah, but it's interesting. I definitely need like a better storytelling skills, I feel like, because that video, like, unless you're really into aircraft, it's a very stale video. Like the viewer retention is terrible. I feel like, it's just really boring. It's just me talking to the camera. I need like better video editing and storytelling skills. That's for sure. So going forward, I'm gonna have to work on that, and it doesn't come easy to me. Um, especially because I'm a maker. I'm not necessarily a video editor or media creator. I know there are people out there who are, and I'm just not one of those people. I, well, I don't see myself currently as one of those people, right? They make some really clean videos, like MKBHD if you're in the field of tech, right? And there's plenty of channels out there who create really great content for photography. There's Ted Forbes with the art of photography, if you're into photography at all. Um, Sean Tucker gets pretty deep in some of his videos, very philosophical dude, but really great channel. I find it inspiring to watch some of his content. But yeah, to get to that level, I feel like you need to be a great speaker, and that's something I'm still working on. I'm just not very, I guess, great at presenting. That's also kind of why I do these channels, is like hopefully get some exercise with um, public speaking of sorts. I know it's not really public speaking, but when you upload a video onto YouTube, it is kind of public, so you have to be good at communicating. So that is something I need to work on. But just video editing, storytelling in general, I need to step up my game there. I feel like if that improves, the retention rate will be higher on these videos. Because right now it's like, I don't know, 2 minutes out of 10 max. And it drops down from there as more people view it. Because I'm sure like people just click on a thumbnail that they think looks interesting, right? Hear my boring voice. If they're not that into aircraft, I can especially see this happening, right? They're just like, this guy, I just don't want to listen to his voice. It's just too long and too boring. We need some exciting footage, and quite frankly, that's hard to do because exciting footage of me building the thing, that's the live stream if you speed it up, right? And I don't make it an effort to record when I build, because I mean, first of all, I'm a live streamer already when I build, right? But it's just also like an extra burden, and I don't necessarily want that, because that impedes the process of creating the actual airplane, right? So I would rather have a good airplane and mediocre footage, because I mean, I feel like my target demographic is really people who really like airplanes, who really like to make things. That's really who I'm targeting. It's just a little bit difficult to grow that. It's a very niche community for sure. Okay, so we need to mark where the vertices are. And this is not an easy template to copy necessarily. All right, so this is what I'm gonna call it. This is there's so many edges on this thing. It's crazy. I have to like rotate this a little bit every now and then. So there's a line, right? Goes from there to there. There's a line from there to there. Yeah, it's just a little bit kind of sketchy, I want to say, but it is what it is. Just gonna draw this over here. So I will say, like, one thing that's nice about cardstock is the feeling of the pencil coming over the paper, like just drawing over. It feels like a chalkboard, which is, I mean, but it's like a smooth kind of chalkboard. So I don't know if I'm making any sense right now, but it's a very smooth feeling, and it's pretty satisfying too, if you ask me. But anyways, that's getting a little too meta. Okay. I don't think it's gonna be perfect, but we're gonna try our best to get it to be perfect. Get it close as possible to the desired geometry. And that's all you can really hope for in these things. Okay. And then here, just lift it up. Okay, that's really all the points we'd need, I think. That's the corner right there, that's the corner. And then, what is this gonna be? This front point here is gonna come down in like that. This point in the back is going to come out like that. This one is gonna drop down here. Okay. This is looking all right. I'm just trying to block some of the harsh light here so you can see better. Yeah, that's the template. Okay, I'm gonna chop off this end right here. I'm gonna draw the little connection bits here. Okay. Again, this is a fairing, I know, but its geometry is actually pretty rectilinear. So I think what we can do for the slight geometry modifications for the little tabs is quite literally just go at a 90-degree angle. Unless we want some overlap, but I don't think we want any overlap with a material that's this stiff. All right, so I'm gonna, again, this is kind of how it's meant to be, right? One side will kind of grab the other side and form an overlap. So if I do something like this, we don't really need these triangles, right? So what I'm essentially saying is we can drop this line down in a perpendicular to remove that little triangular area, right? Something like that. And there might be a gap or two, but I think for the most part it should be okay. It's gonna be taped over, and we might add some reinforcement, but I'm not sure. Again, I'm gonna come in close here, take a closer look at how we're gonna do that. Again, it's really simple because this fairing is pretty straight, right? Like it's literally a box built around this structure. It's not even complex, multi-planar kind of design. It's not like that at all. Okay, I gotta see how this fits together again. So this, okay, so this really could be like a symmetrical piece here in the front. So what I mean is, like, you could cut this edge off. And you would have a symmetrical component here. Okay, all right. All right. Sorry. I'm just a little bit tired. There comes a point where caffeine doesn't even do you any good because you're just so exhausted. But I'll just make do, I guess. I mean, honestly, this is extra stuff. So if this geometry doesn't work out, you'll notice I did a little cheat there. I just kind of folded it, but it wasn't like a strong crease, so you can't really tell that I did fold it. But if it's near the tip and you can just quickly do that, then it's okay. It's all good to go. So we just trimmed off a little bit from the tip here. So we're gonna retrace that part of the template. Gotta just make it different. So what this is gonna do is, once this tab comes together, right? So if we kind of assemble this to show you here, this is the fairing, right? It's gonna be like this, mounted on the landing gear, which is gonna come down like that. We're gonna fold this in, we're gonna fold this in, and these two front ones, they're gonna end up being like this little sharp thing, right? Like that. And that's gonna allow us to transition to a flat, well, it's not fitting perfectly here because it's not the final version, but it'll transition to a flat fuselage. But I mean, if that doesn't work out, we can always just cut off this little triangular area, so just remove the problem child. I feel terrible for saying that, but you gotta do what you gotta do. And yeah, so I think that's a good plan. And for this, I do think we're gonna remove it. We're not going to, because this is the material that we're dealing with here is cardstock, which is, again, it's a very stiff paper. So if you have like very small parts like this, it's really hard to fold them and make sure it stays in a certain position. It's just very stubborn to deal with. So I actually just prefer to remove these little tabs because they're gonna cause fit issues if you leave them in otherwise. Unless you like bend it really tight, like tightly, I don't know. But it's just really difficult to fold these really small tabs of cardstock. That's why I'm not wanting to deal with this at all. I'm gonna move this forward a little bit. I'm gonna drop this line down. This is a symmetrical part. For the most part. It's not 100% symmetrical. So right now a big part of where it's not is this little notch here. And that's, again, we determined that little geometry from our experimentation last time. That little notch accounts for this little knob here of this landing gear, the outer bit right there. It's just the way it's designed, right? The hinge wraps around the coil, so you just need a little bit of clearance for that. Okay, so we don't need that. Don't need this either. Okay, we don't need the center portion here. Okay, that looks good. Again, a lot of this is eyeballing. This isn't really precise. So you'll notice here that these two sides don't actually necessarily line up. They're not perfect. They're not machine made, even though they might look like it. They are not perfect. That's already perpendicular. We're just removing inter tab spaces here. Yeah, that edge is already pretty perpendicular, so okay, I'm gonna take away what we just did right here. Okay, looks good. Yeah, again, that's why it's not the same one. Yeah, so these are ideally symmetrical, but one side is like that, one side is like this. It's a little bit different, but I think it should be good for the most part. So we've done that. Now, if it were perfectly symmetrical, I would not care. I would just do this again because that's how we traced this template. But because it's slightly asymmetrical, I'm gonna flip it over so that we can have the lines on the same side and get a relatively mirrored part here. I don't know if that makes any sense, but hopefully it does. To me, it does. So Okay. Nice thing about flipping it on its back is that you're able to get the vertices, the corners, really easily because the material already wants to pop up. So that's a point right there. This is a point right here. Not sure if I already marked this, but I'll mark it again. Mark this edge. I think I marked the heck out of this edge already. Okay. Okay. That should be good. Sorry, you might not be able to see this too clearly, but I'll just move this. All right. Again. Again, you might be wondering why we're not tracing from this cutout. And like I said before, it's to reduce manufacturing error. So if you imagine, we only need 2 pieces here, which is a little bit more lenient, a little bit more acceptable. But if you made like 4 pieces of this using the piece that you made before, the piece that you're gonna make is gonna be slightly bigger. It's gonna be bigger because the line that you draw is external to this edge. It's not on the edge. So basically the errors, they add up, and your resulting geometry is off. It's not the same. It's a little bit bigger than before. Okay, yeah, my neck is sore. I feel like an old man saying that, but anyways, maybe I am old. There's that. That. And okay, so we have a point here, a point here, point to point, point to point. Alright, looks good. Looks good, looks good. And then, oh yeah, we need to transfer the points on this side. Okay. I don't think this is going to be perfect, but we're going to try our best, I guess. I'll just get rid of that. Okay. Get rid of that. Okay. Okay. Looks good. And then just need the perpendicular edges here. Okay. You just do that. Down here on the bottom. Okay. And that back edge is already. Okay, so I think we have the templates drawn. Right? Now we just need to actually cut it. And I'm gonna do that now. First cut that I'm gonna make is this rough. Well, I say rough, but it's gonna be a precise cut, but it's gonna separate these two major pieces here. Okay. Something like that. Okay. Something like that. Rough cut, right? And then this here. Just making sure I can see what I'm cutting. Make sure it's not being obscured by shadows. Okay, looks good. Okay. It's pretty good, I believe. Okay. Okay. Looks good. Yeah, I forgot to mark this, but the front rectangular area here is missing, right? So we're gonna do the same thing here. Forgot to mark that, but that's what we want. Okay. Looks good. Okay. That was a little bit risky. Had to push this tab down a little bit to get a clean cut, but I got most of it. So we're gonna put this to the side for now. We'll cut in the middle later. That's good. Move that little triangular bit at the end. It's kind of a vestigial feature. It's not very necessary. It was more for alignment, you know, this little triangular piece back here, the shaded area. But I think we should be okay without it. Saves a little bit of weight. Not that weight is an issue. I mean, weight is an issue. It's just, I don't know. I like things to be clean. Okay, looks good so far. Gotcha. Okay. Just removed all the major pieces. Attach this thing. Okay. Sounds pretty good. Okay. Just making some minor adjustments here and there as we go along. Alright, that looks pretty good. And then now we just need to puncture this and start to remove this little area here. That's going to be a little bit tough, but it's nothing we haven't done before. Using an X-Acto knife, this is going to be a little bit easier. Alright, so I'm going to start with this side here. It doesn't really matter which side, I guess, but just going to puncture a hole here. And just guide the blade using a sliding motion. It's probably not the way most people cut, but it's the way I cut. So now that there's enough clearance, I think. Oh, I thought we had enough clearance, but apparently not. But now we definitely do. I can use our scissors to trim the rest here. I believe we might have enough clearance here. Yes. Okay, that looks good. Whew, I just gotta do the same thing on the other side. That's the thing with these planes with 2 landing gear. I mean, I think pretty much all planes have at least 2. I know the U-2 Dragon Lady spy plane by Lockheed has, I think, 4 landing gear. Yeah, I was gonna say 2, but I realized it's actually 4. But bicycle landing gear are interesting. That's actually a thing, but you usually need wing supports for that. which technically, I guess, counts as additional landing gear. Oop. Okay, let's try that again. Okay. Again, just need to have enough clearance for our blade to come through. Okay. Oof. There we go. Okay. All right, should be good to go. And now we can start to fold the panels, hopefully assemble them together without too much of a problem. Okay, just gonna grab my old vintage ruler here. Okay, this looks good. We're gonna do the little tabs first because that's probably more difficult to do once we do the major folds. So okay, that's all right. Doesn't look too bad. I'll do the same thing again. And just keep on repeating the process here. Okay, so I see a problem. I have to do this side first. Or actually all the slanted ones first, because that's gonna be the way to go for this. This is a precision part. Just pinch the rulers together and get this very crisp, very straight line. Again, standard building technique, but pinch this down, right? Lift this up. Okay, so that's not very easy to do. Let's try this. I can fold this back down. looks decent. Looks decent. Okay, that one is still down. I fold these back down. They're not very permanent folds, right? These are just tabs. Technically, we only really need one, but we want it to overlap and be structurally sound. That's why we have two sides here with tabs, because otherwise we could just forget about one side and then just do tabs on the other. But I think this is good practice to get all of them in. It's just when you have overlapping tabs, it's gonna be a little bit stronger. Right, it's more reinforced than before. So this aircraft by no means is light. It's very heavy, actually. But yeah. We have all the major tabs done. Now I'm going to do the major folds here. Okay, that looks good. I'm just gonna fold it out. Do it again. For this side here. Again, that's gonna be our fold. And it's looking really good right now. So again, you really only need one side, but having two sides gives you that extra safety, right? You could do that, that. Oh, that's a very clean edge right there. That's excellent, wow. And this edge right here in the back. Oh, that's very clean. Damn, would you look at that? It's a very, very clean integration. All right, so this one, if I recall correctly, this one, actually what we just made here is gonna go on this side. It's gonna fit right around that landing gear right there. It's gonna, you know, be a thing, and it's gonna cover itself. We'll cut the slot for the landing gear in later. But for now, it's quite nice. I think we're gonna start to assemble this. Just so if it's gonna be on this side, then the crease should be on the inside for aesthetic purposes. So the side with the notch goes over the side without the notch. That is the general rule of thumb for this design. Okay, this is when we need to start using tape. So I'm gonna grab tape here off to the side. Blowing on it a little bit. That's clean. Wow, okay. I mean, like, you could definitely, I guess, do additional reinforcements in a sense, but I don't know if that's really entirely necessary. So like this could be taped to this inner edge, but I feel like that's gonna cause too much complexity. It's not really necessary, I feel like. This is already a very rigid structure, so if we just take this over, let's see here, how does that do? Yeah, that is very clean. Damn, okay. Now look at that, it's like a little closed off little box there. Okay, that's gonna be on the underside. I'm just gonna do the same thing to the other couple of pieces here. Okay. This one will go here. That's the thing with fairings, is that they're inherently not very structural things, I would say. 'Cause if you had like structural things, it would be very not, I guess, not very streamlined, right? It would be, I mean, it's not to say like you can't have structural fairings, it's just very uncommon, I would say. Fairings in general tend to be this hollow object that has the primary function of reducing aerodynamic drag. It's not necessarily best for structure. So, and we're doing this without structural reinforcements underneath, so we can't really expect too much out of it, but at the same time, I have a feeling this is going to be pretty durable as a fairing. Okay. Oop. Just kidding there. Just cut that. Fold that. Cut that off right there. Okay. Oh, okay. That's a clean piece of tape. Okay, so this is kind of the general idea of this little fairing thing right here. I'm gonna test this out real quick. It's like putting on a sock or something. And then you just slide it over, and hopefully I didn't miscalculate. That would really suck. Good lord, this is difficult. Good lord. Oh, yeah, okay. Yep, now it's fitting. Now it's fitting in. This is an interesting looking fairing, I will say. Would you look at that? I'd say it's mostly okay. Just need to smooth out a couple things here and there. We can definitely add additional material to smooth out this fairing. But for the most part, it's looking all right. It's not too bad. And this is the side of the aircraft that's a little bit tight. You know, the clearance to the leading edge slats or leading edge flaps aren't that great. It's actually interfering a little bit, so hopefully that's not too big of an issue, but this is good. It's just we need to cut out the little jig for the little door there. Alright, so we need a little slot down the middle of the fairing to enable it to pop out. But otherwise, this is looking quite good. Okay, yeah, it's a little bit stuck. Yeah, the tail end here probably needs to be open, not like a closed structure like this, because that's causing a lot of warping and damage there. Okay, but this is looking good. I'm not sure whether or not to continue with this one or start on the other one. I feel like we should get started with the other one. Or not. I'm just thinking about next steps here. So this is gonna come out to about here. And you just need a little slot. That's, I don't know, it probably has to go all the way up here to the front. But it needs to be like a little thin diameter notch that we need to cut out. That's gonna be a little bit difficult because this is already assembled, but it should be okay. It's not too terrible, but we're gonna let that rust a little bit, that fairing. Okay, we're gonna work on this one here. Again, same principle. Okay, get the slanted pieces first. Looks good, looks good. And now I just do the same to the other side. Okay. My hand-eye coordination is not all right today. It's a little bit off, so I apologize if I seem a little bit more sloppy today. Okay. Looks good. the last bits here. Lifting up the side panels here. These aren't really panels, they're just tabs. Okay, that looks decent. Now I can intensify the folds a little bit. Just a little bit. Oh shoot, you know what I did wrong. Yeah, these front two are not right. They're not correct. I drew the line to the wrong location and folded it incorrectly. I'm gonna have to make a little adjustment here. Luckily I didn't find out after everything was taped down. I drew a line to this point instead of this point, which is such a dumb thing because I even marked it out, it was this point. Yeah, so you can tell I am not in a good state right now. Okay, here we go. Problem fixed. Now I just gotta fold it again. I was wondering why it was like so sharp. I was like, why is this corner so sharp? Did I know not to design for that? Well, my brain was like, whatever. Seems legit to me. And then my hands are just like, okay, let's go. And then now I'm just like, oh shoot, gotta do it again. But this is the proper fold right here. That's good. Okay, so this is gonna look a little bit weird now. There's a little crease, but it shouldn't matter because it's pretty faint in the greater scheme of things. Okay, so we're gonna compress this side down, right? Alright. Okay, that's looking alright. Not too shabby. And then this side, I'll go over here. It's looking all right. It's not too bad. All right, so this side with the notch goes over the other side. That's how we agreed upon the assembly of this thing. Okay, we've got to intensify these front two folds a little bit more. Just gonna intensify all the folds everywhere, really. Okay, now did I not cut this right? Yeah, I didn't cut this right. All right. Okay, so I didn't mark this one right. Shoot. I'm just gonna directly cut the 90-degree adjustment cuts real quick here. Without even marking down anything. Okay. Notch side over. There we go. That's a lot better. Alright, that looks good. Just gotta trim off this excess here, as usual. Alright, yeah, these little pieces of tape are really annoying because they cling really hard to whatever surface they can grab onto. And this piece right here, this is about the right length. That's looking good. Just have to move that on over. Okay. Okay, that looks pretty decent. And then this side down, this side in. Right, same story as before. Just need a little tab of tape here. Okay, so this is a little bit over the edge. Just need to correct that real quick. Oh, shit. That's the thing, when you want to be precise, this is what you gotta do. Tape and retape. That's why it takes such a long time to do this. So you want to do things right. Get it to be acceptable to your standards. That's when it takes a long time. Okay. Here we go. Okay, that should be good, I think. Just moving that to the front there. Yeah, there's just so many little pieces of scrap. All right, this is it. This is the fairing. I'm gonna test out the fit for this one, and then we're gonna cut the little slots and then build the panel doors, which are simple rectangles, but you still need to do them. Once that's done, we just need to finish off the rest of this fairing integration, I suppose you could call it. Ooh, that's tricky. So when you push this in, the way this mechanism works is there's this little leg there. You gotta make sure that that's also inside. Yeah, there we go. Oh man, this one is... Oh, this one fits perfectly. Oh man, I'm so happy. Look at that. I mean, it's like bulging a little bit, but we're gonna smooth that out with additional things. But this is the side that it was originally designed for, and you can tell it fits like a glove. It may not be perfect, but it's getting there. You know? Like, look at that. You have a little fairing there for the landing gear. And we're gonna smooth it out with the rest of the fuselage to make it look acceptable. Like maybe a panel here to like smooth that out, and an external panel here to smooth that out as well. That should do the trick. But this is, wow, this is looking really good. It's just now we need to cut out those little slots. This is jammed up in the back. This is like if you've ever tried to remove like a keyboard keycap. This is almost like that. It's like so complicated, and you might damage a component really easily. But I'm glad it's working out. There we go. Move it to the... the camera's right here. Okay, good. All right, we should probably mark out which one's which. This one is the right side here. Right. I'll just scribble on the bottom side here. Left. That's how we know which one's which. Okay. And then I just need to cut out the little slot thing, which is going to be a little bit difficult. I mean, we could disassemble it, but if we don't, then we're cutting through two pieces of cardstock with an X-Acto knife. I'm not sure how that's gonna go. I don't want to damage it, but tough call. But whatever we do, we first need to mark out the actual box where we're gonna cut stuff out. I'm gonna zoom in a little closer so you guys can see. But this is looking good. It's not perfect, I would say. I would say maybe like that's about a third, maybe a little bit less than a third. I'm gonna try this. Really, I'm gonna mark the other one first before we lose sight of what we need here. I believe I'm gonna fit this on again, test out the fit. I believe. Oh, actually, we don't need to do exactly that, but the dimensions should roughly be about the same here. So it's about here. Just need to make sure it's tailored to each side. Yeah, that's about the same. Okay, that's good. At least we're kind of repeatable. Okay. Looks all right. So this is really a balancing act, I feel like, because if you make the slot too thin, you're gonna cause mechanical issues with the landing gear coming out. But and also if you make it a little bit too thin, it's going to jam up when you. It's gonna be hard to put the panel back in to close up the hatch, so to speak. But if you make it too wide, then you don't have a lip for the door to close into, So it's a really delicate balancing act, and I feel like a nice solid number like 1/3 is acceptable. I think it should be able to handle this. So now the question is, how do we cut this little rectangle piece out without killing the rest of the fairing? Just start cutting away, I guess. Okay, this one I definitely don't feel comfortable cutting with a pair of scissors. This is almost reminding me of the mechanism that we did internally for the F-16 that we made a while back. Yeah, that's just what I suspected. There's 2 layers to this fairing. It's not one simple piece. So we just got through the first layer here. Second layer, I am not sure how we're gonna get that. We could try, but I have a feeling it's gonna be a little bit more difficult. Okay, here we go. Try this. Okay. I'm doing something you shouldn't be doing with X-Acto knives, which is cutting with your finger underneath as support, because that's obviously dangerous. So I do not recommend doing this, but please don't take my advice seriously. But if I start bleeding on this stream, I will be very sad. Well, it's not illegal, I guess, but I don't know. It's just really tough to get that one done. Okay, maybe start a little bit back here. Wait, this one's not gonna be perfect, but it's on the inside, so. Oh my god, it. Alright, well, now since it's out anyways, we're just gonna trim it down. Put it back in here. Interesting. This is quite an interesting predicament here we got ourselves into. I'll say, like, we could just remove this one altogether. Maybe that's just cleaner. Even though that means this side is gonna be just one layer. It's gonna be tough. trimmed it off. The inside is probably gonna look terrible, but this is what improper planning does. It's to ponder, why didn't I plan this better? You might be like wondering, we just cut a hole, why are you taping it over? The reason is I want to make sure this front two lip pieces here, they don't decide to lift up on me here. Okay. Now we just puncture this, get rid of this middle section here. They kind of folded it into the layer underneath, so I kind of cover it from inside. But this should be okay for the most part. This is the right side. We're just gonna test it out real quick here. So once it's cut, actually the landing gear surprisingly fits really well. Look at that. Oh man, that's gorgeous. It's just, I don't know, this front part. Oh god. Okay, we need to extend the thing a little bit here. Fuck. All right. Oh my god. All right. So I miscalculated, guys. Looks like this rectangle needs to be actually a little bit longer. Dot 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 question mark. Probably until the middle of this piece right here. Just need to cut a slot. So in that case, there's gonna be two panels here. So one's gonna be like this, one's gonna be here, and they're both gonna have to, kind of slot in to make this thing work. Good lord, I don't even know how I did not see that coming, but well, this is what poor design looks like. Oh my goodness, but we're gonna have to make do. This is the whole point of tinkering. It's like finding these weird problems. I mean, when you're not computer modeling and when you can't see everything ahead of time, this is what happens. And you got to be pretty good at visualizing to not encounter any problems at all, which is, and obviously I'm not a computer, so I feel like I use that excuse way too much, but it's true. I'm not a computer, so. Okay, I'm gonna lightly erase that. So it's just barely there. And at this point, we have enough clearance to do the dibbly-do with our scissors here. I just can't believe I missed this one critical fact. All right, this is totally my bad, guys. I even did not realize this. So I was just like, oh, okay, we could just cut it up to here. I think that should be enough. And then nope, the narrator says it was not enough. So I don't know. I'm starting to lose it. It's a Friday afternoon. I'm tired. We're at about 100 minutes. Wow, it doesn't feel like it's been that long, but as time flies when you're doing this kind of thing. This is a very complex part. I don't know why I've even decided to make a cover. I should have just like installed like a I don't want to cut this incorrectly. Okay. I should have just installed like some type of arrestor and have like just open air landing gear. This cover is just too much work, man. I mean, honestly, look at that. Look at that. We made like a hollow little thing, super complicated geometry, and its only purpose is to fit over this and make it look nice. Granted, this does actually look really nice, and oh my god. Oh my god. Are you serious? Oh. Did I mismeasure this? Oh my. Alright, we need to cut a little bit more. Good lord. Yeah, today's just not my day, man. Alright, so this would be probably about 2/3 now of this little rectangular area, excluding this little triangular bit in the front. We have to go to about 2/3 of that. So the reason why I like mentioned that is because design, a lot of it is about proportion, and for me, I'm relatively good at eyeballing like a third or a half, I would say. Okay. That's it. That's it. This is it, right? This should be it. No more fit problems. Please tell me there are no more fit problems. Good lord. There we go. Okay, and clicks into place. We're in our frontmost position for the fairing. And now, oh, thank goodness, it barely fits. It barely, just barely, oh my goodness, this is, I don't even know how the front panel is gonna like cover up the thing. To be honest, this is, all right, you see this? This is a mess. This is what happens when you don't design your landing gear properly. You just kind of go with the flow and hope for the best. but I mean, for the most part, it's okay. It's a very, very tight package, I will say. But you let it pop out, it's good. I should have known it should have been like that long based on the length of the front one, right? This gap here in the front is pretty long, so I don't know why I didn't guess that. But hey, it's here now, so I just got to recreate the same thing on the other side and then attach both of these things, which I think we should be able to accomplish today. I'm not sure. I'm being optimistic here. This gotta continue. Gotta go forward until here. It's about what, 2/3? A little tiny bit more. And then gotta go there. Holy crap, alright. Sorry if you guys can't see this. I'm trying my best, but I want to make sure the part is good. Okay. We're almost there. We're almost done with this thing. Once this is done, just need a couple of panels on the fuselage, smooth everything out, make sure everything's nice and good. And then the vertical stabilizers, which are gonna be an adventure, I will say. It's gonna be a bop. Okay, so this is where it begins. I'm gonna zoom in a little closer here. So in case I think there's like one more person in the stream now. So what we just did was we made a fairing, right, for the right side. Oh, okay, they left. But yeah, if you're new around here, just made a fairing. And we are in the process of covering it up. Just trying to cut the little slot for the other side here for the fairing. This is what the fairing looks like so far. It works pretty great, except this front bit is a little bit protruded outside of the fairing. So that's completely my fault. I designed it a little bit small. Should have been a little bit larger. I think with like landing gear, you're not supposed to be like super conservative with the spacing and volume inside. You should give it a proper wheel well. But I tend to make things very efficient and very tight. So that's the problem, is sometimes you have these slight issues with fit. And that's what, tolerances are for, right? You're supposed to make enough space for that gap. All right, I'm gonna zoom in a little bit closer here. Sorry for the camera shake. But we're gonna go in on this side here. Okay. Once it's in, then comes the fun part of sliding the blade. Let's go the opposite way here. Okay. And then now just the other side here. Okay. Looks like we got a blade through. Okay, that looks good. Okay. Okay, yeah, this is quite difficult. Okay. Yeah, this is not not a fun time. All right, let's see here. Let's just cut out the front. Oh, actually, yeah, let's not do that. We need to do the tape thing before we do that. This is quite. Okay, that's looking all right. It's not too bad. Oh, no, 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 no. I keep on forgetting. I need to do this. Okay, that looks good. Alright, looks decent. Okay, now I'm just gonna cut the front bit here. These scissors are still kind of the way to go for these things. It's just a lot quicker and cleaner. Oh, I almost cut myself. Or maybe I did, and I don't feel it yet. But, well, I'm not bleeding, so that's a good sign. Okay, this is gonna fit on the other side. Just gonna do a fit check real quick. So you notice the bottom here is hollow, right? So we just put that in, slide it through the slot, and just see how it rests right here. Okay, so this one, okay, it's okay. It's doing all right. It's sticking out a little bit, just like the other side, but that's to be expected. But overall, it's looking quite nice. Okay, so I think we're good. I think these fairings are okay. They're definitely not perfect, but for first generation hardware, this is pretty neat. Now we're just gonna install these two things and then smooth out the fairing a little bit. And actually, before we do that, we might need to install the panels real quick. The panels, they are going to fit on the inside here. There's gonna be a simple hinge. It's gonna be simple, just like this front one here. And the whole intent is to keep it simple. Oh, sorry, wasn't in the view there. But this, literally, this edge slides in here and then lofts itself on the other opposite side edge of this fairing structure. That's what we're gonna have to create for this side and that side. Okay, looks good. Yeah, let's figure out how to do that. So it's gonna come in from the inside. So instead of panels on the outside, I'm gonna do panels on the inside because we want to see the landing gear. At least I do. So, and I'm designing this for me. So, what's gonna happen is the inside is gonna open so you can actually see the landing gear leg, right? Better. Because if it were on the other side, like in the front here, if we flip it over, it's blocking the leg a little bit. Even though you can move it up like that, it's just better if I, do it on the inside so that you always have a clear view from the outside. No, it doesn't really matter. It's like kind of trivial, but I'm going to do that. I'm going to make the little panels for that right now. So this is the edge that requires the piece. And okay, so this is a really small piece, relatively speaking, so should be able to finesse our way through this. Again, this is okay. We're running low on time here. We have about 10 minutes left. Let's see. 2 centimeters long. Wow, that's perfect. We just eyeballed that value. But see, when you do proper measurements, they all line up perfectly. 2 centimeters on this side as well. Damn, that's precise. I wonder what this is. Okay, this one is 1.2. Yeah, this is 1.2. I wonder what it is on this side. Let's see. 1.2-ish, almost. So 2 centimeter by, I believe it's 1 centimeter, 2 by 1. 2 by 1 with a little notch here, so that we can have one continuous seam like that. Okay, let's make that here. Let's make that happen. Okay, we're gonna zoom in a little bit closer here. These are the final stages of this fairing integration and design for the rear. Okay, we're gonna do 1 centimeter here. That's gonna leave us on this edge here. This edge we're gonna make perpendicular. Come out 2 centimeters. 2 centimeters, and then 1 centimeter across like that. That's how you know it's a rectangle. All the measurements check out. And then, okay, we're gonna cheat and we're gonna use that as a template, even though I said not to. But this is a very quick part, and we're likely gonna have to trim down anyway. For the front, it's like 1.2, right? So actually, let me just do this real quick to prevent copying the shape again. I'm just gonna save time and energy here. That's 1 centimeter. Okay, that should be the 2 pieces here. These are the 2 doors. And then I want to do something smart here. I'm going to do 1.2 like this. And that's going to carry us through. And here. And then that's maybe 1.2 here. Gotta just verify. Yes, 1.2, and then 1 centimeter, 1 centimeter, 1 centimeter mark, 1 centimeter mark. Okay, so I just need to get rid of this little bit here. We should be all set to go. See, this is why I keep scrapped pieces because it just, I mean, this is just really convenient here. Having the rectangular pieces next to each other like this requires absolute precision when you cut, because if you make an error, it's going to happen on both panels. This panel is a little bit cut, but that shouldn't be a huge issue. This is where we gotta be careful here. Okay, looks good. I continue cutting this. Oh shoot, did we even mark that? No, this is, okay. That one was a little bit off, but for the most part, it should be okay. This one here, I'm just gonna mark 1 centimeter, 1 centimeter up here. We don't need that one. Okay, that's looking all right. Oh, yep. I'm just gonna put that there. I spent so much time cutting rectangles, like honestly, but it's part of the art of paper aircraft, I guess. So now we're going to tape this right onto the edge here. I grab a piece of tape that's exactly the right length. Okay. It's all right. This is what it's made for. Okay, that looks good. What we can do here is apply another piece that kind of just wraps around. Shoot. Okay, so it's fighting me a little bit here. Doesn't want to be taped. Okay, we don't want to use our X-Acto knife for this, but I think we might have to go over a little bit today just to finish this up, because I don't want to deal with it next time. So I might go to like 2 hours 30 minutes instead of 2 hours 10 minutes. But this is it's kind of what we have here. And just folding this onto that side. I know it's not perfect, but this is a rough fit. And this will cover this. So I actually wanted to cover this back part, but I didn't want to introduce any extra complexity at this point. So I was just like, okay, screw it. We're gonna just do a direct rectangle fit. Get away from the complexity. There we go. That's the right word. But that said, we do need to curve this a little bit so you can actually fit it in. Okay. Now I just gotta take a little piece here and do the same thing right here. This one is gonna be very interesting. Let's see how it plays out here. So the longer side is, oh shit, this is not long enough. Longer side is the longitudinal side. That's not very descriptive. I'm sorry. Long side is along the long side of the slot. There we go. Again, that wasn't very descriptive either, but oh my god, what are you gonna do? It's not perfect. Nothing's gonna be perfect. Yes, so we're going to cut this off right here just because it's annoying me, and also because this is a very precise piece, so you don't want extra stuff hanging off. Okay, that looks good enough for me. And then just gotta install the little thingamajig right here. Let me put that tape up. It's not too terribly important, I guess. And then just gotta do the same again for this side here. Okay. Just a little cleanup job there. Again, I apologize. This is probably gonna go over time today. It's already 2 minutes over, but we gotta finish this up. Okay. Yeah, there we go. Let's use this. Cram it inside. Opposite side. Okay. This is already looking fairly complex. Haha, get it? Faringly complex. Sorry, that was a bad pun. I don't have a career as a stand-up comedian, but you know. God, alright, that's good, that's good. Okay, we're gonna do the same to this piece right here. Because while we're in the mood, I guess, might as well crank out all of them. This piece right here looks a-okay. Right, something like that. Really good, really good. This is a very simple design. Just a tape hinge. No complex moving parts. I mean, I guess this is like a moving part, but it's not like a constantly moving piece. It's like deploy your landing gear once, and then you retract it once and keep it in flight mode for a while until you get bored, and then you know, it's like a back and forth. It's not a one-stop shop, so to speak. But yeah, this is looking quite nice. This comes in. Shit. All right, gotta remove that. Okay, got it on the inside edge. I just gotta crease it a little bit to make sure it can actually fit in. Yeah, that'll allow us to tuck it in. Okay, good. Last piece right here. This one is gonna fold out also. Grab a little piece here, piece of tape, and then mount it right on that edge right there. That's perfect. And then we're gonna put that there. Okay, looks good. I just gotta get the other side done. Again, same procedure. Okay, that's about it. That looks decent to me. All right, I think it's time to test this out. What does it look like? Nope, no, wrong side. Almost installed it on the wrong side. That's tragic. Anyways, it's gonna look like that. So if we zoom out a little bit, take a look. That doesn't look half bad. It's definitely a large door, but what are you gonna do? This is literally what doors are meant to do. It's to cover things. But I'm interested to see it in flight mode. Let's see here. This side also fits. And I'm just rotating to this side here. And seeing how that actually looks really nice. It's like a little flap opening here. Yeah, it looks, I would say for the most part, it looks pretty good. Then again, we need to smooth out this fairing design a little bit, which we'll do next time. Actually, I think for the final taping job, I'm going to leave that until next time too, because it's going to take a long time to do that. So the next time we'll integrate these fairings finally, and then do some smoothing out here with some panels, right? Fix up some of these panel gaps and, you know, tape lifting off areas, and then work on the stabilizer. So I feel like next time we're gonna make a ton of progress. It's just these landing gear fairings, they just take forever to design and make. So I don't know. This is looking pretty cool. A lot of edges right on the bottom, so it looks like a real aircraft of sorts. But this landing gear, I mean, these doors here, look at that. I mean, it's just opened up, you know, causing a ton of drag, which is good when you're trying to land, right? And we're gonna have to test out the performance once we integrate everything of the doors. So like in the stowed configuration, we're gonna have to look at whether or not this forward one is gonna pop out. But to do that, we need to tape down the fairing, secure it finally. And then we're gonna test out the doors. We're gonna smooth it out next time. Do some final adjustments here for the panels. You know, maybe do a covering piece to just smooth out all the tape jobs here. And you know, flip it over. Maybe do a little bit more paneling here. This is a single layer, which it doesn't look like it, but it's a single layer here. It needs a little bit more reinforcement, I feel like. So we might do that. And actually, while that might be like the final step after we do the vertical stabilizers, because we might actually have to cut out a region here to mount our vertical stabilizers, because we don't want to mount it here on the wing, because that's not a very structurally sound area to do so. We want to cut open a flat place here for the thing, for the boom. There we go. That's the word. So on the actual fuselage base itself, we're gonna install it on the inside here. So right over the landing gear, right here. Right. So that's gonna take a while. That needs a fairing. So I don't even know how long this is gonna take, but we're aiming for end of January. But at this point, I feel like end of January might be a little bit generous. But we'll see. We'll just continue where we left off next time. Hopefully get it finalized, right? Attached on, doors work. You know, hopefully that's a check. That's a yes. And after that, you just finalize the paneling job here and then focus on the top. So at least 2 or 3 more streams, I predict, with, you know, a lot of focus. I think we're a little bit behind because last time we didn't really get much done. We literally just drew the pattern for this fairing, but today we got 2 fairings done, so that's good. So that's pretty much gonna be it for me today, guys. Thanks for watching. Again, you know, if you have any questions, you're watching at a later date, you know, leave them in the comment section. You know, feel free to reach out to me on Instagram at ben.fellow. At least that's my current Instagram name. If you have any questions, you know, reach out and, you know, feel free to share your projects with me and things like that. But otherwise, we'll talk to you guys in the next one. Stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll see you guys next week on Friday. Thanks for watching.